What's going on, ambitious vet? Thanks for diving right back inside the trenches with us this week as we seek to provide you the golden grenades you need to get yourself out of your own way and fuel your desire to make an impact post-military. This is your podcast built by veterans for veterans as we dive into the trenches with today's top subject matter experts, share inspiring transitional stories, and provide masterclasses to equip you to reach your full potential. Bottom line is, this is your place to go after immediate transitional education expires.
Like you measure your employees, you should also measure yourself. Your key performance indicators should be based on your strategy. So the reason why I mentioned first that you need to have that strategy and that you need to break those things down is because now you can use those goals to come up with those KPIs. So are you visiting one state park per month? You've got to measure that. Are you completing your business tasks on time? Are you on budget? And the third part of those key performance indicators, as you're measuring yourself every week and every month and every year, be consistent and be continuous. Don't give up.
Today's show is going to be brought to you by the Full Focus Planner. On my roller coaster journey to lasting success, distraction surrounds me at every turn, dip, and incline. With the Full Focus products, I'm able to banish distractions and focus on what matters at work and at home. Built from the latest science in productivity and goal setting, the Full Focus Planner helps you prioritize and achieve your goals. With a simple 3-step system, you can connect your big annual goals to your daily actions, so you're always making progress. I've joined over 200,000 achievers who consistently reach their most ambitious goals, ambitious vet, and I encourage you to do the exact same thing. To learn more, visit fullfocusplanner.com/ambitious vet. Again, that's fullfocusplanner.com/ambitious vet. There, you're going to be able to unlock tutorials, resources, and shop the spring launch of their latest products.
It's time to get into the trenches, dig into your purpose, and fire up your life fulfillment. The Ambitious Vet Podcast starts now.
What's going on, Ambitious Vet? We are right back inside the trenches this week with George Mayfield. George is a veteran of the U.S. Navy and comes from a family of hardworking entrepreneurs. He is now an operations and strategy consultant and fractional COO. George actually honed his skills for companies in many industries, focusing on process improvement, organizational change, and strategy. Leaning on proven business practices, he has become adept at collecting the right data, monitoring and analyzing appropriate KPIs, and facilitating visionary strategies for over 20 years. He has worked with businesses in retail, manufacturing, consumer services, medical, technology, research and development, and security, among many others. As a business consultant, George has helped several companies in their growth stages or who have technical and process debt from previous growth. George, are you there?
Yeah, you nailed it pretty good, Chris. Thank you.
Well, hey, man, you gave me some prep work. Hoped I executed with the right tonality and made it sound like you were a big deal, man, because you really are.
Absolutely.
And can you go ahead and fill the gaps inside that introduction and kind of let us know a little bit about your background?
Sure. I was actually a third-generation Navy veteran and second-generation machinery repairman. So there's been a lot of kind of tradition in my family as far as that goes. I was stationed on the USS Kearsarge out of Norfolk. I got out in 2004 and went into college. I got my MBA with the intent to one day become a business consultant. And about 2018 is when I kind of started that off, and then really kicked it off in the last year with Frameworks Consulting. And what I wanted to do was just take control of my own future, my own lifestyle. But also what I really want to do is make a bigger impact in the small and medium-sized business community by helping more business owners. And just working for one company, it's a little bit harder to do that. So I wanted to reach out and provide as much value to that community as I can.
Yeah. So you're not doing this as a temporary basis to be hired inside of a company. It's really just, hey, I want to come in and do project fees and help with operational planning, which, a lot of business owners, usually the people that start the businesses, are usually the visionaries that see the market, but they don't know the operations to actually solve the real problem at a bigger scale. And you're kind of that person, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, nice, man. So, you've had like over a 17-year journey, brother, right? I think you got out of the Navy in what, 2004?
Yep, 2004.
2004, man. So it's been a journey, right? And as we were just talking about offline here, we both have been that statistic of 65% of veterans leaving their post-military careers every 24 months, right? And I think the ambitious vet that's listening to this is probably one of those kind of thinkers as well, man, where they kind of just get to a critical mass of a company and they kind of get bored, they're not feeling challenged enough, underpaid, whatever it may be, and they start moving, trying to look for that next opportunity, man. But over 17 years, man, you definitely had a consistency of moving to different companies. But, to your credit, brother, you were constantly finding bigger and better responsibilities, probably more lucrative roles and stuff like that. So it wasn't like you were going behind, but always growing into the next role. I'd love to just kind of hear your thoughts on, why it is that you saw yourself pivoting every 2 years, and why you think veterans do the same.
Yeah, well, for me, it was a little bit more intentional than maybe most. My goal, as I mentioned, got out of the military, went right into college. I had a mentor that was an organizational change and development consultant. And I loved how he went to companies and just helped them solve problems. So it wasn't the same old thing day in, day in, day. So I wanted to do something like that whenever I, in my adult career and, or my third adult career, I guess you'd say. I kind of set out to do that. And one of the pieces of advice that he gave me is, of course, I can't graduate out of college and immediately start becoming a business consultant, right? I've got to earn my chops. So what he suggested was to get into project management. So I started that, and as a project manager for one company, took on a big project, saw it to successful fruition, saw how it impacted the business, actually created a new department for QA and document control. And so I left that company to go to another company just to get more experience. And then again, left that company for more experience. So I was just continuing to try to get as much experience in a short amount of time as possible so that I could be a better assistance to business owners.
Yeah. I mean, would you, I'm going to ask this, and it's not a leading question, I promise, brother, but it's like, do you see that veterans, do we learn faster than like, our civilian counterparts from what you've experienced?
I would say that is true. I think that a lot of us veterans, I would say, I don't know what the percentage is, but probably most of us joined the military right out of high school. So we're just young kids and we're thrown into the fray, right? A lot of us quite literally are, flown around the world and just, you're suddenly an adult. And you have to learn quick. You have to pick things up quickly. And unfortunately, in some cases, if you don't, that can be the end of your life. We're put in some very, very dangerous situations. Even myself on a Navy ship, I didn't have anybody shooting at me directly or anything like that. But I am in a heavily industrialized environment. I mean, I'm living there, I'm sleeping there. I could put my hand in the wrong place and lose a finger. You learn things you have to pick things up pretty quickly.
Yeah, because the consequences on the other side are really big. So there's a lot at risk.
Absolutely.
You don't learn, Might blow off a finger, right?
Yep.
Cool, man. Thanks for sharing that, brother. So yeah, I want to dive into the main course of this episode, Ambitious Vet. And me and George, we connected at a local veteran and business networking event out here in Dallas Fort Worth area. So if you are around North Texas area, I definitely encourage you to go check out Veteran in Business. It's one of the most organized networking events that I've probably been a part of, from even starting this company in San Diego to even coming out here into the great state of Texas. And, me and George just kind of had that bromance immediately, Navy to Marine, just, hey, man, what's going on? And then we kind of bromance, and then we started talking about a topic around how do you build your own military operations in your life post-military. This guy is a genius in just operational planning, period, and would love to just kind of throw it back over to him, Ambitious Vet, and to kind of dive in. How do we build our own military operations in our everyday life post-military, George?
Yeah, I'll definitely dig into that. I do want to comment that, after I met you, honestly, I felt like I needed to give you a ride somewhere. It's just something about that Navy and Marine.
That's it.
No,
that's it, man. I love it. I love it.
So, how do you, one of the things that I do is help companies just to get organized and make their strategy an actionable process, right? And I think that's something that a lot of us can do even in our own lives. So the first thing that I like to do, I kind of have three major points, but you have to have a strategy. You have to document that strategy. You have to break it down and prioritize. And then you have to have key performance indicators that you measure on a consistent basis to make sure that you're getting these things done. So high-level goals, what I would do is, as you're creating your strategy, you've got these high-level goals, and they need to be SMART goals. So SMART goals is specific, measurable, assignable, realistic, and timely. Spells out SMART for all the Marines out there.
Thank you for that.
So it is an example of that. It's very specific. Let's say you want to camp more. You want to just go out and enjoy nature. You want to enjoy time with your family. So you want to camp more, right? The problem is it's not a very specific goal. A lot of us may say that, and you never really get around to it. So you've got to be a little bit more specific by saying, like, instead of saying I want to camp more, you would say I want to visit all of the state parks. So now we've kind of made that a bit more specific there. We make it measurable. So we could say, I want to visit one state park per month. You make it assignable. You want to say that my significant other will pick the site that we're going camping at while I will check the inventory and supplies. So now you've assigned different parts of that goal out to people. You want it to be realistic. So do you actually have the time and do you have the resources to complete your goal? So if you can't really take that time off of work, or going out to a state park just isn't feasible, you really have to identify that beforehand. Otherwise, you're going to be let down. And then lastly, timely. Out of 90 state parks in Texas, if you wanted to go to one every single month, that's 90 divided by 12. That's going to take 7.5 years. So as long as you can, put that into a timeline of how long is it going to take me to actually visit every single state park, and then that if you miss a month, it's just going to drag that out. So that's a good example, I think, of creating that strategy and then breaking that down into goals. The next thing you want to do is to break it down into yearly, monthly, weekly tasks. So let's say you want to build a business. Well, in 3 years, you want to be running your own business. That's your 3-year goal. Well, in 2 years, you may say that you want to be fully staffed. You're just kind of breaking it down to the next year. In 1 year, you want to have enough customers that you can quit your job. And then in that next 12 months, you know that you need a website, you know that you need a place to do business, you need resources, you need a sales pipeline, you need sales and fulfillment processes, you may need accounting and finance processes. You're definitely going to need a tax number, LLC or S Corp, all those kind of formations to get the business done. So you've got all these things. Then you need to prioritize those things. So what is the first things you need? You may decide that the first thing you need to do is get that tax number, get that LLC formed, so that you make sure that that name is now yours and it doesn't get taken before you tell somebody your idea. And then you delegate. So just like before, when I said that those goals needed to be assignable, you need to be able to delegate. So a lot of times, especially as veterans, for some reason, we have had things delegated to us our entire military career. And then we turned around and delegated things to the people that we worked with. But for some reason in business, it's difficult for the veteran business owner or even the veteran manager to delegate those tasks for some reason. But you have to remember, that's how you were trained. That's leadership. So you need to delegate. Now, whether that you're delegating that to somebody that you hire, or whether you're delegating things to your family, that's going to help you to get your goals completed. The third thing is the key performance indicators. So just like you measure your employees, you should also measure yourself. Your key performance indicators should be based on your strategy. So the reason why I mentioned first that you need to have that strategy and that you need to break those things down is because now you can use those goals to come up with those KPIs. So are you visiting one state park per month? You've got to measure that. Are you completing your business tasks on time? Are you on budget? And the third part of those key performance indicators, as you're measuring yourself every week and every month and every year, be consistent and be continuous. Don't give up. If you stop measuring yourself, you'll stop doing.
No, that's good, brother. I'm just thinking about all my habits that I need to start tracking again, man, in my everyday life. But no, I love it. And for an ambitious vet that's listening to this that don't know what KPIs, do you have more of a dummy proof version of what KPIs would be? Do you have like a dummy proof definition of what that would be?
Sure. KPIs, it just stands for key performance indicators. So if you just break that down, these are numbers that just indicate, are you on track, right? So this is a dashboard. If you're driving somewhere, you're actually looking at KPIs. You've got your dashboard on your car telling you how fast you're going, telling you how much gas you have in the tank, all this information about your car and how you're driving. Those are actually key performance indicators for how you're doing at that point in time.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, brother. Thank you for breaking that down, because I think a lot of us, when we get out of the uniform, we have big aspirations. We have a strategic plan, in other words, that we've worked out with some kind of career coach or whatever. Sometimes we're not the most realistic. And I think sometimes the KPIs or key performance indicators can potentially make it realistic, because you can start tracking stuff and see what your capabilities or, what other resources you have and what it's actually able to deliver at this point. So you can figure out what is actually realistic and pivot as you go, from my own experience. So I love the prioritization side of things too, because I think a lot of times we'll make a big brain dump and we get overly zealous and we think we have the resources that we had in our, in the military. Right.
Right.
And, we can leverage our corporal rank in my case, right? Or, whatever rank you were in the Navy, to just get people to just go do shit without questioning it, right? But do you have any other like examples that you've had with working with other like veteran-owned companies, startups, clients in general that have had problems with prioritizing their SMART goals and what that actually looks like from a realistic standpoint?
Yeah, so one of the common issues that I've seen is people just prioritizing their, they don't have that strategy. So they don't have that 3-year mark that they're trying to get to. They're really just kind of looking at, what am I doing this month? And so there's been clients before that every time I go visit, if I'm visiting them on a monthly basis, or before I'm even signing up with them, it seems like every single month they've kind of changed their focus. And if I'm visiting them on a monthly basis and just trying to get them to sign a contract with me, it's almost like they are a different business every single time I show up at the door.
That probably pisses you off.
Yeah, they just keep pivoting. It's just all these different things they could do, and there's all these great ideas. And being a business owner, being a visionary is a great thing. But if you don't have somebody to help you prioritize things and organize things, you'll never make those great ideas real.
Mm. No, that's great. And to your point earlier, man, was I think the key performance indicators, right? You got to give that a lifetime, whatever I'm trying to say. Like you got to give it time to kind of a duration to kind of see trends inside that data before you just completely change your business model too, right? And I think that's a big problem is like a veteran may start a company and like the first quarter, they don't know the KPIs to track, and I know that you could potentially help out with that. But even the KPIs that they're tracking, if it doesn't look the way they want after the first quarter, they'll completely just try to shift everything. And sometimes it takes time as you position yourself in the freaking market and stuff, right? And as your point, you got to build the operational side of things. You can't build a deck of cards.
Yeah, and another thing to keep in mind is as you're looking at these KPIs, and if you may see several KPIs start to go off base, may start to see that you're not really heading in the right direction as that you thought you would be going in. Don't try to change everything. Just remember the scientific method. You change one thing, and you see how that affects what you're doing. So maybe you just need to change how you're doing sales. Maybe you just change, are you making calls versus emails? Don't just change your entire business plan. Maybe just change your pricing and see how that affects, the customers that are coming in.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Really good point. So George, man, thanks for dropping some golden grenades in here, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to just drop one last wisdom bomb, man, that just really has worked for your everyday life in the trenches, man. There's an ambitious vet that's in the trenches of life right now that, is kind of like me and you that are kind of gone through a couple careers and is realizing that they're not challenged enough. They're not satisfied. Maybe they're just mundane, kind of bored with life. What would be that one last golden grenade that you could just drop in here to blow them into, a new hemisphere? What would be that one last golden grenade?
I would challenge every veteran out there to network and make new connections. I feel that a lot of vets got used to the camaraderie, the friendships, that social strength that just came in your sea bag. Our military brothers and sisters, you had a common life, and it made it easy to almost automatic to make connections. But your relationships were earned by your service, by what you were doing. In the civilian life, you're certainly respected. You're certainly respected out there by civilians. But you kind of have to re-earn your way into relationships by making connections and just sharing and giving yourself and telling them more about what it means to you to be in that community and just earning that trust and that friendship. And I think the community becomes a lot stronger when veterans intermingle with civilians. And I think it will help them to find more satisfaction and fulfillment in their life.
Yeah. I mean, really what I'm hearing in that is just ambitious vet. The tagline veteran is only the door opener, but that is only the first step. So George, I know you got an awesome offer here at the end of the show. What's that one thing that you want to help provide an ambitious vet that's looking to just kind of up level or go to the next level with their operations? What's that tool?
So there's a tool called 90.io, spelt out. And that is a tool, you can get a month of it for free. Just go online and sign up. It's not a company that I own or am affiliated with, but it's something that I've used with great success with a number of clients. You could even use it for your own personal life if you wanted to document what is important to you and your family moving forward, and you want to help delegate some tasks to your wife and kids or whatever. It's a really good tool to use. Again, you get 30 days for free on their website, and I would highly suggest it.
Nice. Very cool. So that gets you in the beginning weeds of weed chopping your operations, ambitious vet. And also, George, they can check out frameworksconsulting.solutions to figure out more about you and your fractional COO services, correct? Is there anything else you'd want to add around those?
Absolutely. Look me up on LinkedIn. You can also search for Frameworks Consulting there or George Mayfield. Happy to connect with anybody out there. Happy to help point you in the right direction. Awesome.
Well, ambitious vet, I can definitely throw more fuel to the fire here with George. He's not a guy that's only trying to promote himself. He's always trying to promote others. If you do go follow him on LinkedIn, he's always trying to promote other ambitious vets, in this case, to just really get out there and thrive inside the everyday trenches of life, rather it be you're just inside of a professional career pathway, no problem with that, or you're an entrepreneur. Regardless, he's always just looking to promote others, and that's why we have him on the show with on top of a lot of other reasons as well. But George, just thanks so much for joining the Ambitious Vet Show, man. Thanks for helping us, really just build our military operations in our everyday life, and just thanks for spreading out those breadcrumbs for us to eat them up, brother.
Of course. Yeah. Happy to be here.
The Ambitious Vet is available on all popular podcast platforms. Go to vettrainingcoaching.com to subscribe, rate, and share with fellow vets.
Today's show is brought to you by the Full Focus Planner. Again, Ambitious Vet, if you're ready to banish your distractions and focus on what matters at work and at home, and gain access to products from the latest science, productivity, and goal setting, and join over 200,000 other achievers who consistently reach their most ambitious goals, I encourage you, visit fullfocusplanner.com/ambitious vet. Again, that's fullfocusplanner.com/ambitious vet to unlock tutorials, resources, and shop their latest spring products to spring your productivity forward in the remainder 3 quarters that you have to make the most out of your life in 2022. Hope to see you there.